From the Opelka Studios in Oklahoma City, this is an OSU update. I'm Jenny Carlson. Iowa State comes to town on Saturday, and for a lot of Cowboy fans and a lot of Cowboys, that brings back memories of last year. Not great memories, unfortunately, even some tragedy. Gina Mizell joins us right now. And Gina, you had a chance to revisit last year's game. Obviously a loss for the Cowboys that kept them out of the national championship game, but also the day of the OSU women's basketball plane crash that killed two coaches. What stood out to you in your conversations with coaches and players about last year's game?
Yeah, well, it kind of just depends on who you talk to. Some players, some of the older veterans, a guy that really stuck out to me that I kind of just was talking to off the side after we shot our little video together was Rashedi Jones. And, he was saying, he was a senior last year. And so, he did know Kurt Budke. He did know the basketball program. And, he said that it was interesting because, with a Friday night game, a night game, normally what you do on game days, you get up and you watch college football all day. Well, first of all, it was Friday, so there were really not any games on. And every, sports channel you turn on, ESPN or what have you, on all the TVs, it was the plane crash. And so, he said that obviously that, did put a damper on the mood and all of that. But I think the overlying theme is that, players and coaches still don't blame that loss on the tragedy that happened earlier in the day. Alex Elkins was pretty adamant about that on Monday. He was like, that's just, that's not fair to blame it on those circumstances. He's like, that didn't affect any of our preparation, during practice or anything like that. And so, I think obviously it affected the mood of the day. I was in the hotel with the team. We happened to be staying at the same place and kind of just saw the mood just before they left, to go to the game. But overall, as far as how it affected, that day, it was obviously a strange day and a hard day and a tragic day for the Oklahoma State community. But, when you just look at the game itself, it was a situation where the offense really struggled, the most that they did the entire season last year. Iowa State's defense played well and came back and won a thriller in overtime on their home field. So as far as just, going through the events today, obviously it was an interesting day, a unique day, not a normal day at all. But as far as how much it affected the actual outcome of the game, kind of just depends on who you talk to and how much this game coming up on Saturday is a revenge game also kind of depends on who you talk to. Some of the veterans might remember it a little bit more, but some of the younger players, it's not quite the same thing. Whoever starts at quarterback for Oklahoma State, whether it's Westlaw or J.W. Walsh, didn't even play in the game last year. So how much of a revenge factor is it really? So it's kind of interesting just seeing the different viewpoints on players and coaches and how that day went down and how it affected things.
Well, as you mentioned, a tough day a year ago against Iowa State offensively. It was a tough day defensively. It was even a tough day in special teams for Quinn Sharp missing that field goal, such an automatic kicker for Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State and Iowa State kick off at 11 a.m. on Saturday. A lot going on in that game. Be sure to be watching. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.